The news at 4 begins with breaking news on the federal workforce fallout that's affecting many of you and your loved ones. Thank you for joining us on WUSA 9 and streaming on WUSA 9 Plus. I'm Simone D'Alba. In just the last 2.5 hours, a federal judge temporarily paused the deadline to accept the Trump administration's so-called buyout. That original deadline was slated for just before midnight. U.S. District Judge George O'Toole says he would block the implementation until he holds a hearing on the matter on Monday. We know there's a lot of uncertainty for you and for your families, and our team is committed to getting you answers to your questions from trusted sources. Our Melissa Kim is looking at the growing concerns about the future of Medicaid in the new administration. But first, let's hear from Rafael Sanchez Cruz, who's breaking down what exactly this means for the estimated 400,000 federal workers in our area. Rafa?
Yeah, Simone, the Trump administration said there would be no extensions, but this judge's decision has forced one. Judge O'Toole out of Massachusetts has ordered the Trump administration and the federal government to notify federal employees about this temporary freeze. He says that this pause is not indicative of his future ruling. He also gave no indication whether these actual so-called buyouts are legal or not.
To take the deal or not, more than 2 million federal employees across the country are facing the decision whether to accept the Trump administration's buyout plan.
We'd love to have them leave. We're trying to remember this. We want them to go into the private sector.
The U.S. Office of Personnel Management has offered federal employees pay and benefits through September if they resign. The White House press secretary sending this message to federal workers Thursday.
We encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer. If they don't want to show up to the office, if they want to rip the American people off, then they're welcome to take this buyout, and we'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
Unions representing federal workers have held massive rallies against the efforts to shrink the federal workforce.
They got to reject it.
Democratic members of Congress are urging employees to refuse the offer.
There are several risks that they're taking. One is it's not clear that it's enforceable because there's no provision in there that says, if they don't keep their end of the deal, you can go to court or anything like that. The second is it's not clear that it's even legal.
The government is not funded past March 14th, which has raised concerns about whether employees will actually get paid.
You pretty much don't have any rights.
Attorney Linda Correa warns workers about the deal.
If you resign from a job, you're not eligible for unemployment.
The Trump administration has signaled that layoffs or furloughs could be on the table if not enough federal employees accept the buyouts.
If there are large-scale terminations, that will trigger actual rights and remedies that are available to people, and how they go about executing on those is going to be the question.
The White House press secretary says that more than 40,000 federal employees have already accepted the buyout. That's around 2% of the federal workforce and far below the 5 to 10% goal that the Trump administration had laid out. They did also add that they expect these numbers to spike up. We'll be monitoring to see if that really happens. Live outside of OPM, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
Okay, the next thing we'll be keeping a close eye on is that hearing. Again, as you touched on, it is Monday afternoon. We'll be following that for you. Rafa, thank you.